We managed 30 questions last time. We've got about another 70 to go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Question Mark. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another part of this first episode of Question Mark on this channel. A year in the making, if you will. Now, to clarify, we're going to do these every 500 subscribers from now on. So if you want another one, get your mates to subscribe to me. It's that simple. It took us about a year, didn't it? Well, no, exactly a year to get 1,000 subscribers. So at that rate, we're going to do another Q&A in 6 months' time. Hooray. Should we get on with it? We've got a lot to do. This will be a 3-part vid. It's currently 10 past 11 and the free practice 2 for the Bahrain Grand Prix starts at 12 o'clock. So you've got 50 minutes to get as many as I can. So let's go through them. So Hodgie says, congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. You mentioned about the YouTube channel design sucking. As you've pretty much been a member of this website for its entirety, do you believe that YouTube still cares about its community like it did back in 2006, 2007? With things like the awful channel design, the lack of simplicity, it once had a consistency it constantly only promoting, featuring the major partners and celebrities on here. Basically, is YouTube what it once was, and why? Your thoughts. P.S. Please grow back the heel beard. I'm working on it. Look. You know, it's going to come in. It's coming gently, nicely. YouTube, when it was sold to Google, was changed quite radically because everything that you do makes money these days, and it's making money. And the whole point of YouTube, I think, is the advertising. I make money off my adverts. Anyone who's approved to be anyone can be a partner now, basically. That is a good thing. I like that a lot. I hate the YouTube channel layout, as you mentioned. It used to be so good, and you could personalize it however you wanted it, and you could put things in the background, things in the foreground, and you put your things wherever you wanted them. And now, I mean, the channel design is just horrendous. I mean, I can't see why they've done what they've done to the channel. If you go on my channel, for example, there's a picture of a sunset, I think it is, in the middle of the page, right? That is because every single photo that I've uploaded to use as my channel banner, yeah, is too small. And it's like, right, that's good. All the photos I own, the biggest ones I own, still aren't good enough. And like, okay, that's fair. I used to love the autoplay feature. That was brilliant. Now that's gone. You can only use the autoplay for sorry, I've got wet hair and it's pissing me off. Unsubscribed people can see a video that is there as your trailer. Otherwise, they just can't. YouTube used to be, the whole site used to be about the people, and it's like you say, it's about, you know, if you're a popular YouTuber, you appear on, you know, if I go on my Xbox, if I go on YouTube on my Xbox, yeah, there is the, you know, what to watch, most recommended, shit like that, and none of it's anything that I'm interested in at all. It's just, you have this. If I go on the YouTube homepage, I have to click on the subscribers only, my subscriptions only, because it brings up all this recommendation shit. 9 times out of 10, but yeah, I've got this running thing with Bobby Cash, for example, where he puts on Twitter that he's watched a show, and if I've reviewed it, will go and find my review of that show and put it as a response to him. We're doing it for 3-4 months now, and it's funny. It's something we just do. Thing is, YouTube then thinks that I watched my vid, so it comes up within the recommendations one of my videos. Like, do you actually think I want to sit? I'm going to go on YouTube, watch. Ooh, one of my vids? No. Andrew T, I don't like YouTube anymore, is what I'm going to say. It just doesn't feel like it's for the people anymore, is what I'll say. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like it. I like still coming on it. I spend way too much time on it. Procrastination. YouTube is just the procrastinator's worst enemy, isn't it? I sat doing my notes for, you know, I'm recording this 11:15 on Friday. Tonight is a GPW show that I'm working at, right? I spent most of last night doing my notes, but every so often I'm just going to go on YouTube. I'm like, no! And every time I get on it, like, stop it! Just no! Finish your fucking notes! Andrew T says, I have 2 questions for you. What was your reaction? I'm sure that should be reaction, but what was your react to seeing The Undertaker debuting at Survivor Series 1990? And do you ever see Vince going back to doing play-by-play on Raw with King? The second one is a straight no. He would have done it years and years ago if he wanted to. Reaction was a bloody hell, what's that sort of thing, I think. The fuck? Shut up, you! yeah, it was just one of those, wow, what's that? And then when he actually got in the ring, it was like, wow, look at that. You know, I think everyone was though. Jesus Mary Chain says, hey Mark, who do you think are the most overrated WWE stars of all time and why? Thanks, man. Wow, overrated. I mean, that is a hard question. Overrated. I mean, can we say John Cena? Can we say Jeff Hardy? I've never been a massive Jeff Hardy fan. Never been the biggest Triple H fan, is the truth. I mean, those are ones that come to the top of my head. Of all time, you see. And the thing is, right, I mean, you could say anyone from... Someone like Bruno Sammartino ruled as WWF champion for 11 years, but if you go out and watch his matches now, they are very, very crap. That's a fact. It's a straight fact. They are just, because times have changed. It's not that they're crap matches per se. It's just that because we live in a different area where it's much fast-paced, different time even, and a different area. Yeah, because I don't live in New York, where I could have seen Sammartino and would have loved it if I have. Where a 10-minute headlock spot was considered a high spot. Where an Irish whip was once considered a high spot. Over, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. Yeah, but I mean, like I say, I've never ever been since he split from Matt. So since 2003, should we say? I've never been a Jeff Hardy fan. He's just never really done it for me. I don't get the appeal at all. So yeah, he's who I'm going to say. I don't. The actual answer to the question is I actually don't know, because I mean, I've not tried. I can't think of who in the community is overrated, is what my problem is. Masslinger TV says, apparently RVD is coming back to WWE. How do you think he will turn out in today's WWE? Absolutely fine. I don't like Rob Van Dam. I've always thought he's boring. All his matches are identical. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll fit in fine, especially with a reduced travelling schedule. I think he'll be fine. Hey Mark, says Shadow Ruin. I've always wondered what exactly is under the ring and what the wrestlers do when they're stuck under it for a surprise appearance as attacks. Do they just lay under the ring or something, or how do they get their signal to make their appearance? Now, this one is a bit of speculation. Not a bit of speculation, a bit of guesswork, sorry. But as far as I know, if you're scheduled to appear under the ring, one of two things will happen. One, you will be under the ring. You'll go under the ring before the doors open, and you will stay under there until your time. Or they'll blackout when the lights go out. You'll sprint down. Of course, the risk of that is people taking photos of you. As far as I know, they'll either have a walkie-talkie or radio or a TV monitor, so they know when to make their cue. That's as far as I know. I can't guarantee that. If anyone can answer that one for me down below, please do. God, my hair is driving me fucking crazy. I'm sorry about this, guys. One of the problems with having dreads here is if they get wet, they become very, very heavy. So I've just got this pressure on my neck. It's driving me nuts. What's under the ring? A great big fuck-off spring is what I've learned. I always knew that wrestling rings had a bit of bounce in them. I didn't realise they had a fucking great big, like this big, spring underneath them. And just the equipment to set up the ring, really, was all stored under there. And there's the occasional table if one's needed. Anything that's needed for the action, for the matches, is under the ring. And that's that. Hey Mark, says Joel B, from the available roster, including I hate questions like this, really hate them. Including the part-timers, what do you think would be a most worthy main event for WrestleMania 30? If different, what would you personally most like to see? That doesn't make sense. Hang on, let's read that again. From the available roster, including the part-timers, what do you think would be the most worthy main event for WrestleMania 30? If different, what would you personally most like to see? What do you mean, if different? Do you mean like if different from the one that they've already got? Because I don't know what they've already... I don't know. If different. Worthy main event. I want the championship, obviously. That's simple. I don't really mind who's in it. I want it to be for the title. That is simple. I would like it. Well, how's this sound? I would like it to be an established champion. Yeah. And I want the challenger to be someone who's never held the title. How's that sound? That's what I always want for WrestleMania. WrestleMania 12, WrestleMania 14, WrestleMania 21. Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels and Batista, not in that order. People who've never won the championship, winning it off the established guy, new stars born. That's what WrestleMania should be all about, creating new stars. That's what I want to see. How's that sound? If different, though, I don't really do know what you mean. Genuinely have no idea what you mean. Also, have you seen any of NXT since change format? I find it's the most consistently enjoyable WWE product at the moment, and we're great to get your thoughts on the show and the upcoming talent from it. I've seen one match. I saw Adrian Neville's debut match, and that is all. It was all right. Oh no, sorry, I've not. I've seen two. I saw Cassius Ohno versus William Regal from the other day. That was superb. The build-up to that match was absolutely fantastic. Sorry, I can't answer your question further, but it didn't make sense. Tom Calloway says, "Hey Mark, love the vids. Just wondered if you could elaborate more on why." You see, I wondered if someone would say this. If you could elaborate more on why the crowd reaction makes such a difference to your match rating, sometimes by a few stars. Right, it's nice and simple. Take the best match you've ever seen. Yeah, the best match you've ever seen that had decent crowd. Yeah, think about a good match that is made better by the crowd. If a crowd is into a match, believes the near falls, gets behind the guys, starts claps, starts chants, yeah, a match will be better. The wrestlers will feed off that energy and that emotion. They will perform better. It's that simple, yeah. If you take a 5-star match and take the crowd away, you'll probably have a 4-star match. You may have a 3-star match. If the crowd don't care, it's hard to get into a match as much, in my opinion. If a match, I mean, this is why I say a lot of the times, if a match has no reason for happening, then it's very, very difficult to care about that match. Does that make sense? That's what I think it is. So that's why if I see a match I think is a 3-star, it's a 4-star match, but the crowd are just not buying it one moment. If they go for a near, you think like wrestler A hits his finishing move, on wrestler B. Any guesses? Any bets? I actually can't see it, believe it or not. Oh no, it's there. Ambulance. Whoever said ambulance, give yourself some internet. Where was I? Oh, yeah, wrestler A hits his finisher on wrestler B. 1, 2, kick out. Imagine if it's wrestler A hits the finisher on wrestler B, but there's no reaction from the crowd whatsoever. They've just seen one of their favourite finishing moves, but they don't care. Do they chant along with the 1, 2, 3? No, it's just 1, 2. So the commentator's like, "Oh my God, he's hit the rock bottom. It's gotta be over. 1, 2. Oh my God, he kicked out." That sounds ridiculous if it's playing to silence. Do you know? That's what it is. For me, crowd interaction is a big deal when it comes to match ratings. I will knock a star off comfortably if the crowd don't give a fuck. And that is that. That is basically the best way I can describe it for you, Tom. Mr. J Dizzle 345 says, "Hey Mark, what are your thoughts on Dolph Ziggler turning face? Do you think it would be a bad move and fail in the same way the Miz's face turn has? Congratulations on 1,000 subs. Keep up the great vids. Thank you very much." I don't think Dolph's turned face. He's very popular, but he's also very popular. He's very popular for doing what he does, if that makes sense. I like Dolph Ziggler because he's a heel, and the reason I like him is because his bumping skills are fucking incredible. He's the type of guy who it just doesn't bother me that he loses all the time. I mean, it does. In the scheme of things, it bothers me. When I say it doesn't bother me that he loses, what I mean is that it's not going to stop me liking him. The fact he lost. A lot of wrestlers who lose a lot, they lose their fire, they lose their steam, because people go, "Well, he's just a jobber, isn't he? He just loses all the time. Why should I get behind this guy if he just loses all the time?" It's that sort of deal, No, to answer the question, no. Miz's face turn has been ridiculous. I mean, so few people. I mean, I got a question just the other day saying, "Why do you hate Miz so much?" And it's like, because he's boring as a face. He's the most obnoxious guy. His character for years has been how awesome he is, which is just arrogant and obnoxious. And what, all of a sudden, because he's turned babyface, I should get behind him? No. It doesn't work like that at all, does it? Oh, dear me. Shan45334 said it asked me 2 questions. Cheeky. If you were in charge of booking Mania, would you part all the stops to make it superb, e.g. getting celebrities on board, paying old guys like Goldberg a shitload of money for the Mania run, and in the same time preventing the young guys from being given a chance? Or would you gamble and say to yourself, "I'm going with the current crop of guys, and I trust that these guys will deliver. Keep the vids coming, thanks"? If I was booking WrestleMania, I would want a half and half. You've got to have the celebrities. Old guys, the nostalgia vibe, coming in for one last match or whatever, is good when it's done in the short term. I've said this for many, many, many years. Nostalgia only works in very small doses. If you bring back loads of people from the old times, it's just Stop banging! God damn it. God damn it. This is why I need a studio. And I need to dry my fucking hair! God damn it! But I would trust him on new car. WrestleMania, I've just said this, haven't I? WrestleMania should be used to create new stars. For years now, it hasn't. Who came out of this WrestleMania just gone as a new star? No one at all, actually. Now you think about it. That's what WrestleMania should be. So, of course, I would trust in my current crop of guys. I would bring in a few celebrities. I would bring in a few old guys. Old timers, I suppose, is the way of putting it. But not very many. I'm probably not Goldberg. I would also ask, do you have a keen interest in wrestling shoots like RB and no kayfabe? Not in the slightest. Don't watch shoots. Used to watch them all the time, but they just don't interest me. Classic Clown 90 says, even though it was great in a business sense, professionally, do you think The Rock's return in the ring was a success or a flop? Would you like to see him carry on wrestling? Technically 2 questions, but I tried to put it into one. Congrats on 1,000 subs, whatever. Rock, yeah, big flop, in my opinion. I have been championing the guy, something fierce, and it's not that he's been a big flop per se, it's just that his matches haven't been very good. 3 matches in 4 months, none of which were particularly great, is what I can say. I hope when the WrestleMania buy rate comes in, I really hope that it's big, because it'll be on his back. I want the Rumble buy rate, the Elimination Chamber buy rate, and the Mania buy rate to be, look, this was totally worth it, brought the money in. And, I mean, it's very hard sometimes when you're a fan of someone like The Rock, and there's so many people who hate on him, and you sat trying to defend him, and you're trying to say, look, it doesn't matter if he's on Raw or not, it's the pay-per-view where you make your money, not on Raw, and shit like that. And I've been trying to justify it as it's our business, you know, if it makes money, then why do you care? But at the same time, like, when the match quality just isn't there, it just isn't there. Both his matches with Punk, his match with Cena, it's like, yeah, just go away, Drain sort of thing. I don't think he should come back, let's put it that way. I don't think it's one of those things. It's hard because I was such a big fan of The Rock. I was such a big Rock fan, and it's just, it's been quite a difficult one to take, I'd say. It's I think it was a flop, and I'm saying that now here, and I'm going to keep from this day. I will say that from now on. Owen Lennon says 4 questions, including one. I do not like this. I will say this next time when we do the question Q&A, because this is the second question I've had this. Can you please not use the term in depth? Because that I could talk for an hour about something that you said, couldn't I? And sure, that's not fair on everyone else, is it? 4 questions as well is taking the piss. It's my fault for not saying 1 question per person like I did last time, and the time before that. And the time before that, hey, I just thought my subscribers might be a bit more considerate. Owen Lennon says, do you aspire to go to WrestleMania in the near future? I used to. I don't ever want to go to America. It's the truth, I don't want to get shot. I've got a massive phobia of guns. It's the only thing in my life that I'm scared of is guns, and guns genuinely scare me. Also, I mean, the flight sounds awful. The longest flight I've ever done was 4 hours when I went to Tenerife, and it was just plain torture for me. I don't like flying, okay? So the flight doesn't sound good. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to trust myself with the food, because food, I mean, you can tell for a guy who's a big guy, food is my big weakness. It's my one ultimate weakness is food. Hey, you know, go everywhere. Do you want cheese with that? I watched that Top Gear recently, where they got fucking, they went to one of the southern states and got chased out of the state because they had something like vote Hillary for president. You know, they got stones thrown at them for their political beliefs, and you're like, right, that sounds like a lovely place to go to. So if I go to America, I might get shot, I might get lynched because I have my political views, you know, home of the free. You know, and yeah, like I say, I have a big phobia of guns. WrestleMania would be fun, but it's not something that I think to myself, do you know, I really want to go to WrestleMania and spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Especially, I mean, do you imagine I can't imagine what it must have been like to go to WrestleMania, this one, that's just gone, and come away going, well, that was alright, wasn't it? You know? If you were to choose one person to end the streak, who would it be and why? I wouldn't choose anyone to end the streak. Please check the question. I said this before. I said, make sure when you ask your question, just go and look at what's been asked already. So that question's come up twice now already, so you didn't do that. Sorry, Owen, but I'm ripping you for this one. But that's, yeah. In-depth thoughts on the whole Chris Benoit saga. On what? See, that I don't actually know. On the whole Chris Benoit saga. On what? When he was born to when he died? No answer. I'm sorry, I'm not actually prepared to answer that question because it's too vague. On the whole Chris Benoit saga, you could be on about the murder-suicides, but you could also be on about his WCW run. Okay? And lastly, do you plan to go on holiday this summer? If so, where? I don't know. At the moment, no. Just for that, that's irrelevant. So, the Lonely, cheers for those, Owen, they were completely shit, weren't they? The Lonely Gamer 1000 says, when are you going to make 10 years ago the Lost episodes in Immersive 2001, Survivor Series, and Vengeance? I love Vengeance D. When I've got time. They really are. Especially now that I'm going to be booting up the 97th Heaven series, it could be a year's time. I just don't know. When I've got time. I did the one for, was it Unforgiven I did? Yes, I did. The Unforgiven one, because I had a free window. Wasn't making any vids that week. It's like, oh, well, I'll do this. At this moment in time, I just don't have time. I've somehow got to finish watching Backlash 2003 for next Thursday. That's when that's due up. And then think about it, in May, I've got Judgment. Is it Bad Blood coming up in that? Two shows in May, I think. And I've got whenever I get time is what I'll say. If they are going to happen, I want to review them. I don't think the series is right without those 3 videos missing. Genuinely, I think it's wrong. But yeah, it's when I get time. So next, Marc Bardo says, what got you into wrestling? I've been into wrestling forever, mate. I've been into wrestling for as long as I can remember. From my earliest memories are wrestling and Formula 1. To my 2 biggest passions to this day, and I blame my dad for both of those. All his fault. He also asks, who do you think is the best in-ring performer in WWE history? And of course the answer to that one is Shawn Michaels. RL1712 says, recently Ken Shamrock has stated in an interview he's interested in making a WWE return part-time and would like to work a feud with Brock Lesnar. He's reached out to WWE numerous times, but they've not responded. How would you feel on seeing Shamrock return, and would you receive any attention from the fans like he did in the Attitude Era? He's been getting some attention from young fans due to his appearance in the WWE 13 video game. Too broken down for a feud with Lesnar, surely, and not popular enough. I mean, he was never that popular during his WWF run, was he? He was never that great at wrestling, in my opinion. And what I've seen from him in his MMA fights, he just got owned by Tito Ortiz, I think it was. So, I don't see it personally. I can see why the WWE are hesitant, let's put it that way. Not the greatest of things. Oh gosh. Clegg6969. Hi Mark, I think your vids are quality, Mark, and congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. My question is, how did you become a fan of British wrestling? How long? We've got half an hour. Let's try and do the short version. Back in the day, when I moved to this lovely, lovely town in Stoke-on-Trent, I found out that my girlfriend lived not 2 minutes walk from Hanley Victoria Hall. Now, if you Google Hanley Victoria Hall and wrestling, you'll see that Hanley Victoria Hall is like a mecca for wrestling in this country. We had a friend of ours, who worked at the Vic, as it's known around here, and could get us free tickets to go to all-star shows. And so it was, depending on who was on the card, we went to the all-star shows. So it was normally, let's have a think, the 2 ones I can remember off the top of my head were, sorry if you don't like British wrestling, this one might take a while, Gangrel, I went to see, and I went to see Jake the Snake Roberts. They were the draws. But, I mean, I saw Jody Fleisch versus Johnny Storm 1-on-1, which when you tell people now, if I tell people that now, like, bloody Christ, you know? And it's like, I know, these 2 nobodies. I saw some nobody called the American Dragon, for example, Bryan Danielson. I've seen him wrestle under the mask in front of 100 people, or maybe, probably a lot more than that, but, not many people at the Victoria Hall. And, I used to go along to those for about a year in 2003. I went to every time they came to Hanley, I went to those. And then, well, basically, my problem was that they kept advertising matches that didn't happen. So they would say, there'd be a brawl at the end of the show, and the ring announcer would say something along the lines of, who wants to see these 2 fight in a ladder match next time? You're like, fuck, yeah, I do look at them, they want to be the shit out of each other, do it. So you go back next time, you're like, yeah, tonight's going to be a ladder match. And it wasn't a ladder match, it wasn't even the same main event. And you're like, right. And after a year of that, it got to the point where it's like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to get fucked over. I have, to this day, have not been back to an all-star show, even though the Vic is still only 10 minutes walk away in that direction. You may remember UBW. You may remember a guy called Goo Boy. And the guy behind the Goo Boy character started training with Future Shock in Stockport in 2010. I started getting messages from him in 2010 saying, dude, you need to come to one of these shows. And it was like, I can't, mate. I don't drive, and they finish after the last train. Because where the Future Shock built, a base in the Guildhall in Stockport, it's not 10 minutes away from Stockport train station. But at the time, I don't know if it's the same now, but at the time, I couldn't have got there. I just couldn't have got there. It wasn't fair for my missus to take me. And then in 2011, I passed my driving test. Hooray for me. First time after 7 lessons. Can I just point that out? 7 lessons, 3 of which are practice tests. I'm that good. Hardly any minors, flew through it, breezed it, piece of piss. Driving is one of the few things, can I just say, there are very few things that I'm very, very good at in my life. Driving at the very top of the list. I'm so good at driving, it's unbelievable. First thing on the agenda, when I pass my driving test, is let's go to this Future Shock we've heard so much about, because Davy Richards is there. Let's go and see Davy Richards. And, yeah, that didn't happen because I went to see Harry Potter, the last Harry Potter film, at the IMAX instead. Which was good when I went with my family, but I did miss out on seeing Davy Richards with the ROH Championship belt at Future Shock. The next Future Shock, though, they advertised, the main event at the end of that show was advertised as being Future Shock 53, and some guy called Colt Cabana was going to be there. I got in touch with a couple of guys, like, do you want to go and see Colt Cabana? And, like, 3 of the guys who I asked were like, I can't, I'm working. But one guy, and that was Max Carnage, who we'll hear from shortly, because I've just noticed that he's asked a question above here. Yeah, he wanted to go. We went for Colt Cabana, and I'll never deny that. We went for the import, alright? And then the opening contest was Blackpool Wands versus Reynaldo and DDL, and it was that wasn't bad. And then there was a women's match which I absolutely hated, and then there was a match between a guy called Bubblegum and a guy called Jack Gallagher, and we watched that, and our eyes were out in stalks. It was like, wow, that was a good match. And we came away. We went out outside the intermission for a cigarette, and we were just, this is good, isn't it? And then, we watched the second half. We saw this tag team called the Models that we were just like, oh, they're so good. And then we saw some idiot called Dave Rain take on Colt Cabana. And we came away going, we should do this every month, shouldn't we? And we have every second. And the thing about us is that since that day, we went to PCW, went to Southside, and went to Fight Club Pro, and went to Progress, went to Infinite and GPW and Great Bear, and every bit of Brit Rest that I can find, I just lapped up, because it's like, all this time I've been making vids on YouTube saying WWE sucks, I don't want to watch it anymore, and then I found something that was like, oh, because the moment you go through those doors, you're a Marc. And that's my biggest thing about Brit Rest, is that the moment the moment I go through the doors to get into the building, all my stresses, all my troubles, all my pains, all my problems in the world vanish, because for the next 2 hours I just want to be entertained. I want to shout along with I want to boo the heels, I want to cheer the baby faces, I want to count along with the threes. 9 times out of 10 at a wrestling show, at least once I'll shout something that makes the whole room laugh, which is really awesome actually. I really like that. And then I come back outside and go, well, that was fucking dope, wasn't it? Let's do it again sometime. And now my crew is 10 men strong, and 10 of us go to every show. And that's just fantastic. I love that. I get such a kick out of that. And yeah, like I say, I owe so much to that one show, Future Shock 53. Half the friends I have now are because of that show. The fact that I work in the business for 2 companies is because of that show, And that's how I got into Brit Rest. Nice and simple. What I would say, I say this on vids a lot, seriously, go to a British show that's near you. Think about this one as well. I've had messages before, oh, it's too far. Future Shock is 50 miles away from me, as is GPW. Not an excuse at all. Well, it is if you can't drive, but if you can drive, not an excuse. So, next. Eliminator! Hi Marc, with a K. Been a fan of yours since 07, and you spell my name with a K. I still enjoy your vids, even if you don't. I don't enjoy doing these vids because I haven't got a script, but I do like them. 10 years ago, saying I fucking love doing. I have 2 questions, one related to wrestling, one just fun. With you being a fan of British wrestling, what are your thoughts on William Regal and the British Bulldog, and do you think they should be into the Hall of Fame? That's 2 questions straight away. So the next one is a 3rd question. Ha God, I'm so good at this, aren't I? William Regal, underrated in my opinion. Just a great storyteller, works the old school style, works the southpaw, and if you saw his match with Cassius Ohno, great storytelling, I mean superb, can still do, he's 45, can still do it. British Bulldog, too muscly at his prime in 92, he was carrying way too much muscle, and then I think he was a very, very sad tale when he came back to the WWF in the late in the Attitude Era, for example, he just looks so bad. He had some great matches though. I mean, he's part of 3 of my favourite matches. British Bulldog is. He's part of the 10-man at Canadian Stampede, which I will be reviewing soon. He is part of the best Raw match that I ever saw, which is versus Owen Hart for the finals of the European Championship, and he is versus Bret Hart at SummerSlam '92. He was great, fantastic, really great guy apparently as well, and ambassador for Britain at the end of the day. Do you think there will be an ever induction into Hall of Fame? Bulldog, I can see happening. Regal, I mean, one of his best mates is Triple H, so I could also see it, but not for a couple of years yet. Over the years, I've seen you do shoots on different YouTubers. In your opinion, what's the worst response you've ever had to one of your videos? That'll be the Gilmore one. The Gilmore vid, I buried Gilmore, something fierce. I gave every point that I gave was not just me, knocking him for his appearance or his background or anything like that. It's every single one was a, listen, you do this, try and deny it. Instantly, while I think about it, please stop banging. Every single one of those points, he's still true. He still is his own favourite person. He still comments on, he still replies to every comment on his videos. So if his vid's got 50 comments, 25 of them are him. He still celebrates milestones that are meaningless. My vid had 100 views, go me, sort of thing. He still responds to his fans as fuckers. Hey fuckers. He puts things in the comments. And so I gotta say, I know all this because I mentioned him briefly in a video a couple of months ago, and he commented on that video. And it's one of those things that, how did you know that I talked about you in my vid? How could you possibly have known that? But unless he still watches my vids. The point is that he made this video where he was trying to do a promo, Marc person, and he was whispering. It was all dark and he had a cowl on, and it was just woefully bad. It was so bad that he took it down about a day later. The Cozine ones, remember? Not the Cozine. No, the Corbaz. Sorry, the Corbaz ones were all awful. I mean, the guy who smeared peanut butter all over his hand, do you remember that one? The fat guy who smoked the cigar and put his leather gloves on. Yeah, we remember all of these. These were all terrible. So yeah, these were pretty good. This one I saw a couple of days ago and thought, what the fuck do you mean by that? Broski in a bottle says, how do you feel about CM Punk's good size? I don't know what that means. I genuinely have no clue what that means. Coal Miner's Glove 92 says, hey Mark, I love the 10 years ago series and wondered if you ever consider reviewing older stuff from the 80s, like the Great American Bash 89, which is one of the best pay-per-views there's ever been, and I will review it one day. Clash of Champions, Brawl to End It All. Thanks for keeping the great videos coming. Thanks and keep the great vids coming. Coal Miner's Glove, aka some guy called the Mini Guinea. Remember him from the IWF? I would like to. I don't know enough about it, is the problem. I don't remember. I never saw it at the time, obviously. I mean, Great American Bash 89 has got to be done one day, hasn't it? It is genuinely one of the best pay-per-views there's ever been. So I'll give you a maybe Mini Guinea. How's that sound? Bryce Clark, what are your thoughts on DX's babyface run from 98-99? Fantastic, changed the business. Did great stuff for the Attitude Era. And the thing is all great babyfaces need great heels to bounce off, don't they? So naturally, the nation was there for them to bounce off. 99 wasn't that arse about them because it was a stop trying to be DX. I mean, they had the match, didn't they? It was the rights to the DX name. It was just like, oh, go away, please, just go and do something else with your career. But for 98, fantastic. Abyss 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. What would you rather see out of a wrestling program? This is a hard question, I think. Very crap matches, but amazing storylines, characters, and storytelling, or amazing matches, but with crap storylines, characters, and storytelling. You can't pick both because that is cheating, and cheating is bad. Can I not say in between? Because I want some amazing matches and some amazing storylines. I want oh, mate, that's so hard. Because it's alright, so you've got your amazing matches. Let's look at it from both sides here. You've got these amazing matches that are happening for no reason at all, but you don't care because the matches are really awesome. Or on the flip side, you've got these matches that are happening for a reason, but are utter shit, but you don't care because the storylines are so engrossing. They're like, the match is secondary. If that would be like it was on you know, the South Park wrestling special, where they don't actually do any wrestling at all, but the storylines are incredible. That's what it'd be like, wouldn't it? But for me personally, I want the amazing matches, because that's what I want to see. 9 times out of 10 when it comes to wrestling, I actually don't care about the storyline, as long as there's one there. As long as there's a reason for this match happening. I cannot stand matches happening for no reason. Why is this match happening? Because it is. Well, why should I care? Because you should. No, don't care. Entertain me then, bitches. You know, emotional investment, that's what it's all about. So I'm going to have to go with it. Oh, I was going to say amazing matches, but no. No, yeah, amazing matches, crap storylines. We can live with that. It was called the Attitude Era. 99, you know it. Nat Kennedy Brees says, do you agree that WWE should stop using band music as much and use more in-house music for the theme tunes and pay-per-view themes? That's an odd question, because, like, do you agree? Like, that says to me that there's an opinion going around that lots of people think they should stop using band themes. But in my opinion, I mean, sure, they don't use them enough. I mean, if you remember back in the Attitude Era, it's that every pay-per-view had its own theme tune. Generic theme tune, and then in the years after, in like 2001, 2002, a lot of the pay-per-views had theme music that was done by a band. Evan Effen's Bring Me to Life was used for No Way Out 2003, for example. That was fantastic. It fit beautifully with it. I don't understand the question. Do you agree? Is that your opinion that they should? I think it should be half and half. I think the big shows deserve a big theme music, but yeah, use your own. Yeah, if you've got people employed to write music for you, use them to make your theme music. How does that sound? I'm gonna say it's so wrong, so I do apologise in advance. But Shabir Korakiwala, is that right? There was supposed to be. I don't get this question either. This was supposed to be WWE's reality era, ever since CM Punk laid out his original pipe bomb promo. Since then, there have been a few interesting promos, mostly by Punk himself. But do you think that WWE has succeeded in bringing in the whole, oh my god, you did not just say that about so-and-so? Or has the reality era been a big failure? Now, to answer this question, I'm afraid, mate, I'm going to have to drop the truth on you, which is, I didn't know it was called the reality era anymore. I thought this was still the PG era, or the John Cena era. I didn't know it was the reality era, so I'm sorry, but I think it's been a big failure, because I didn't know about it. How's that sound? M.R. Milvay. R-M-R-I-L-V-A-E. R. Milvay. We'll go with that. Goldberg or Ryback? Goldberg, I think, in my opinion. More charisma, better in the ring, better looking. No, Ryback for me still doesn't really quite do it. This heel turn that's going on at the moment, I've said on my Raw review, is quite interesting because everything he's said so far is true. And Goldberg just didn't work as a heel. So should we say at the moment, I'm going to say Goldberg, but that could change very soon. Goldberg turned heel in 2000 and was just an utter flop because no one wanted to see him heel. Mike Hunt is normally a hater, so let's have a look. Hi Markykins, nice word. Do you reckon Kenny King has the most amazing theme ever? Every time I hear it, I have to go outside and dance like Phil Mitchell on Ecstasy. Superb. Kenny King's theme music is pretty epic, isn't it? Yeah. I like that one. That's actually not a bad question for yourself there, Greg. I was expecting much worse than that. Venom Jojo says, congratulations, Mark. I've always wondered how matches get set up. Are they rehearsed over and over again between the wrestlers and the outcome is predetermined from the start? Basically, what happens before wrestlers go into a match? Right. I can only say this from personal experience, from what I've seen and what I've come to understand. If a wrestler is new, he will be put with an experienced guy. The experienced guy will normally be the heel, because the heel always leads in matches. That's just how it works. If you don't believe me, go check it out. Unless it's John Cena, of course, who seems to call his always matches. 9 times out of 10, the heel carries the match. So what they'll do, it all depends on how experienced the guy is. If a guy has got 10 years of experience, then he, when his opponent, will go to the ring knowing who's going to win and what with, and that's about it. They will call it all on the fly, depending on how the crowd's reacting. And that, in my opinion, is fully how it should be done. Always and every time is how it should be done. But a greener wrestler will And this happens a lot more nowadays, is they'll have a lot of their spots planned. One of the things I've said this on part 1 about being a commentator, is I get to see them practicing the spots. And it's like, the fan in, it's like I said on part 1, the fan in my heart just goes, oh, wish I hadn't seen that. And oh, wish I hadn't seen that. Because it means that your reaction is never going to be genuine as a commentator. Or it is, but it isn't at the same time. When you see a guy, like last time, I'll give you an example of the last GPW show, Romance is Dead. A guy called Ken Zen hit a C5, flipping rock bomb, off the top rope onto the outside. Yeah, watch them at the top. They didn't actually do the move, but they were practicing getting in the right position, on top of the turnbuckles. And you're like, so I know what's coming later on. And on the one side, you go, ooh, and on the other side, you go, oh, wish I hadn't seen that. Where was I? A lot of guys nowadays want pre-planned spots. So if they've got a big spot that they always deem to do that pops the crowd, that's what they want to do in their match. And I try and say to people come to me for advice. But I always try and tell them less is more. If you've got this one big spot that you do, don't do it every match. Make the people want to see it. And a great example, I hope you don't mind me using this one, is a guy called L.A. Austin, who when I first saw him in 2011, early 2012, he's got a great corkscrew moonsault, absolutely stunning manoeuvre, but he was using it every single match. And it's like, one of the things I said to him is, stop doing it, just cut it out of your arsenal completely, bring it out for the big match. Yeah, that way people will be like, God, we haven't seen this for ages. He's going for the corkscrew moonsault. We haven't seen this for ages, is what I'd be saying on content. I haven't seen him do the corkscrew moonsault for 6 months. Oh my God, it's the best corkscrew moonsault you've ever seen. And less is more, I seem to find. And the thing is, with wrestlers, they come in, the young wrestlers come in, and they want to do all these big flippy floppy flip. And of course, the crowd will pop for it. But the thing is, it will take, every time you're doing these big flips, you're taking bumps off your bump card, aren't you? That you can't do later on. Does that make sense? So, yeah, it all depends on age and experience. The most experienced guys and the natural guys can go, right, we're going to do this spot, we're going to do that spot, we're going to do this spot, and we're going to do this to finish. And away they go, and out they go. And then everything else that they do, they will call on the fly, and it will all be based on how the crowd are working. But then younger guys, there are guys out there who rehearse every single aspect of the match. Randy Savage was one like that. DDP was also like that. Who, meticulously, every single detail of their match was rehearsed until they could do it with their eyes shut, And I don't like that. It doesn't make for a bad match per se. It just means what happens if something goes wrong, and that's one of the telling things about if you watch a match now with a guy who's not got very much experience, and if they botch a spot, it's how they react. That for me is a sign of how well they're going to do as a wrestler. If they forget what they've got to do next and they freeze like a deer in a headlight, you're like, oh my God, don't. That's a sign that that something's gone wrong, and that they can't remember what to do, and they can't improvise what they need to do next. The other thing about that situation, of course, is that 9 times out of 10, they do something that bugs the hell out of me. Then if you're a wrestler watching this, and you want to really piss me off, repeat the spot. Botch a spot, repeat it. A prime example is Del Rio against Big Slow. Remember when they did the bucket on the head, and they did the enziguri, and he missed? So he did it again, and it's like, really? You did it again? You wouldn't just go, fuck it, let's do something else. We'll come back to it in a bit, maybe. No, they repeat the spot. God, that irritates me. Matches are always predetermined, unless, I would say, the only time matches are not, a match wouldn't be predetermined, is if there's an injury, for example, they'll change the finish. They'll do something different. They might do a count-out finish of a serious injury or something like that. You may have seen the dread. Here's one for you. In all the time I've been working as a commentator, no one's ever told me what to say if there's an injury. Just like to throw that. I might actually bring that up tonight. What do I do? Just what do I do? There was a match I called. Fuck it, that's irrelevant. That's nothing to do with the question. I was going to go off on a tangent about a match I called recently where there was an injury and I didn't know how to sell it, so I sold it as. I'm still talking about it. I sold it as it was bullshit at first, and then when it kept going, it's like, actually, this could be real, sort of thing, because it was by a heel. So it's like, and of course, do you know what the worst part is? It turned out that it was bullshit, so I was right in the first place. Shit. So yeah, I hope that answers your question as best as I can. Some guys rehearse them over and over. The best guys don't at all. They can just go out and go, right, we're going to do this. You know, they'll have 3 or 4 planned spots at most, and then just get on with it. You call it all on the fly. All of it on the fly. Bobby Cash, some of these questions make me lol. Anyway, next question. See, the next 2 questions are from Bobby. Do you ever drink a bottle of pop that isn't bigger than a small child? Right, I've become one of my trademarks is I take a 2-litre bottle of pop with me everywhere I go. I get thirsty very, very easily. I get very hot because of my weight and my hair, and I get very, very thirsty. What's the point in buying a bottle of pop that's this big that costs £1 when one that's this big costs £1.20? Dick. Why does it matter? And then the next one, is the Bobby Cash A, awesome, B, awesome, or C, both? My broadcast partner, Bobby Cash, is he awesome, or both? The thing is, the Bobby Cash is fucking awesome. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, because he's a friend of mine. He is currently running 2 different things. In GPW, he's the ring announcer, and he's doing a much better than I expected job, I must confess. After his first night on the job, he seemed very nervous, and, you know, fluffed his lines a couple of times. The last time, it was night and day. Honestly, at Romancer's Dead, he was so confident and so calm. I mean, I don't envy him tonight, is what I can say. I mean, when you watch this, Bobby, you'll be able to tell me. It will already happen. When I'm recording this, tonight, you're doing the ring announcing, and when someone's eliminated for a Royal Rumble match, that's going to be a laugh. I've got to call the damn thing, that'll be fun. You've got to do all the eliminations and that. Unlucky, dude. That potentially could sort. On the flip side, at Great Bear, where he is the Bobby Cash, where you are the Bobby Cash, and you're portraying a character that is so fucking full of yourself. It's unbelievable. The UK A-lister, and it's awesome. And you wouldn't believe some of the ideas that he's coming out with. You know, keep sending me the ideas. What about this? And it's like, brilliant, do it. Brilliant, do it. Brilliant, fucking love it, do it. I really hope when it comes to the Bobby Cash, this is what I'm going to say, and I will say this to your face if you like, Bobby, is that I really hope that when people talk about your commentary, that people realise that for a commentary partnership to work, there needs to be 2 of you. You, the Bobby Cash, wouldn't work if you were sat out there on your own. You need someone to bounce off. And when I see things on Twitter all the time about people praising Bobby and what a great commentator is, I don't get that praise. And you sat there, sometimes it really hurts when people are like, Bobby Cash is such an awesome commentator, because it's like, that praise has never come from me yet. So it's like, so what am I doing wrong? And I don't know, that is good. But yeah, the Bobby Cash is A, awesome, and B, awesome. So we'll go with C, both. There we go, how's that sound? Last question from Scarlett McGlynn, who's also Matt's Carnage, his partner. So we'll go with this. It's 3 questions, dude. Ignoring character work and mic skills, who should have been a main eventer from a technical standpoint in the 90s/2000s? Ignoring character work and mic skills. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I just don't know. If you ignore the character, see, like, all the examples that come into my mind were main eventers. So Kurt Angle was one, but it's like, so his character was awesome and his mic work was fantastic, so that doesn't count. People who were crap, what he's saying is, people who were shit characters and shit on the mic, who should have been a main eventer? And it's like, so right, technical standpoint, I've got to go with Chris Benoit. Should have been pushed to the main event. Should have been pushed to the main event years before he ever got there, in my opinion. And from a technical point of view, I suppose we're going to have to go with Eddie Guerrero as well for exactly the same reason. These guys in WCW who were lighting up the mid-card or the undercard with their great matches, but they were never going to get to the top because people like Hogan and Piper and Nash and Macho Man and the whole plethora of people who were working at the top, you know. So there was no way that these guys were ever going to break into the main event, in my opinion. They should have jumped at the chance, you know, years before they jumped to the WWF. Like 98, they should have gone there. Would have been fantastic. Over in the WWF, though, I mean, from a technical standpoint, I just don't know. You're a bad man, Max. That's a hard question. The other 2 you've asked are relatively easy, but I mean, I'm stumped. Honest to God, stumped. And I've had a couple of days to think about this one, and I still genuinely don't know, because the thing is, your question's a bit vague. If you ignore the character work, so take away all the good characters, so you leave someone who's got a bad character, take away the mic skills, leave someone who's got, so you're leaving someone who's a bad character, or hasn't got a character, and he's crap on the mic. And it's like, I just don't know. Which British wrestlers do you think could and should be a worldwide success? I mean, do you be people at the moment who aren't? See, I believe Adrian Neville should be, and I believe that I believe that Joey Hayes has got all the tools to be a proper pro, to make his living off it. I believe that Noam Dar will be a worldwide megastar, especially if he gets to go to Japan. Jack Gallagher is over in Japan at the moment. Josh Bowden, with a couple more years on him, will be a superstar, and I'm so proud to be able to say that I was in the crowd for his first match. What's the guy's name? No, I had a name right there, and it's gone. Yay! Aren't I good? Last one, and this is the last question for today. Do you think Colt Cabana could smell your lingering fart, and did it affect his performance? Proud of your achievements on here, mate. Keep up the good working. Thank you very much for that. The pre-mentioned show that I mentioned before, Future Shot 53. As the show was starting, I let off the best fart I've ever done. And what I mean by it being the best is Jesus wept, it stunk. My eyes were watering, it smelled so bad. I reckon every single person in that room could smell that fart. It was disgraceful, and not only was it disgraceful and stink, it lingered for such a long time. It really did stick around. So yes, I do. I think it affected his performance greatly. You could see when he came out. He's like, yeah, oh yeah. Oh shit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for those marks. It means a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, we've still got quite a lot to do. So there will be part 3. I really hope I've tried to answer your questions. Some of them, if you think I was being mean about your question, right, just let me say this. It's because of how you worded it. This is what we've done forever. If you worded something wrong or incorrectly, sorry, that sounds awful, I'm going to rip on it. It's just what we do, okay? If questions are hard, I rip on them. And yeah, I've been Mark P. This has been Question Mark once again. There will be part 3. I hope you've enjoyed this one. And yeah, I'll see you all very soon. So I've got to go and watch the Formula 1. Tatty bye.